everybody? Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, all that good jazz. I'm Big Cheds. Thank you for hanging out with me. It's Friday. Thank goodness it's Friday. Let's have a great weekend. Let's have some fun here together. I'm Big Cheds. It's 2/28/2025. This is part of the Quick Market Update series on my YouTube at Cheds Trading. I teach professional technical analysis, Japanese candlestick theory, and classical charting. I take the complicated, the academic, and I try to make it a little bit simpler, a little bit more simple and easier for you to digest. Most of what I do is free, and so I try to make that available on my YouTube and, of course, on Twitter, at Big Cheds, where most of you know me from. I have published 3 books, and the 4th book is coming really soon. Look at this cover. Unbelievable. I love the artist. Trading Wisdom Part 2, The Trading Journal. Essentially, this book takes the lessons of trading wisdom. It takes the lessons of everything I put out before, and it gives you kind of a framework of how to identify trade setups, how to know when your trades fail, how to manage your emotions, and how to use a trading journal, why you should use a trading journal. And since that new book's coming, I'm making my prior books, my last book free, the Trading Quotes book, my 3rd book. So I've done weeks 1, 2, 3, and 4. More are coming soon. If you want to learn TA, watch my technical analysis masterclass tutorial playlist, and you'll understand all the moving averages. I'm showing you all the stuff I'm trying to explain to you. I'm a little bit academic. I did study with CMT, so I tend to look at things from an academic or professional TA standpoint. These streams are every Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. If you're looking for more, I do in-depth reports, like a full market report every Wednesday, Sunday night for the last 7 years with the best team in the world that studies crypto. Folks, let me know how you're doing. Drop me a line. Drop me a line in the chat. I want to try to get to as many of your questions as I can today. I don't always get to all your questions, but I pretty much read all the comments after the video. So thank you for being here. Let me know how you found the channel. Hit like, hit subscribe, and all that good stuff. So let's see here. I have a bunch of tweets to discuss. We'll see if I go over all of them. Right, a bunch of tweets to discuss. I want to look at the price. I want to try to put it into perspective. So let me riff. Folks, bear with me. Let me riff on the charts for a little bit. Then I'll touch base with the chat and kind of see how everybody's doing. So what's going on with Bitcoin? We talked a lot about this, the weekly range where the price accelerated out of the 72 to 74K base. Sorry, that's the peak of the base. We're accelerated out of that range post-election, shot right up, and established a very well-defined range low circa 90K. And we saw a very interesting consolidation range here where it morphed from one thing into another, kind of rising channel into a head and shoulders that failed, early move, set the range peak, and kind of dropped back with a series of retests or, bullish throwbacks. And I looked really good for a while because I've been reflecting on the fact that we did break down, which is really significant, and we'll go over that. But I was reflecting on the fact that I wasn't anticipating a breakdown, and I'm okay with that because I'm always going to respect support, until it fails support in an uptrend. So I looked like a genius here when the price bounced off 90K when a lot of people were calling top back in January and early February, and I stayed true to the trend. We bounced nicely off those levels, and we started to attempt to rejoin, the larger trend here with a little bit of a local breakout, but that failed out as well. We had, we had the Bybit exchange hack and all that. Price rolled over, tested support, and lost it. And my last update was Tuesday, and it was kind of as it was going on. And we'll address this low time frame action in a minute, folks. As this was going on in my last update, what I talked about was a concept in classical charting, like confirmation method. Like, when does your trade idea fail? Right? When do you confirm your trade idea? Like, when do you confirm when's this level lost? Right? Well, you can use an intraday, like it drops below 90K, or you could use a 1 hour candle close. You could use 4 hour candle close. You could use 3 4-hour candle closes. You can use a daily. If you get the point, the confirmation method is based on you and your risk management style, and how you define, when a level is held or recaptured and all that good stuff. So I basically talked about the significance of losing that level and how it makes it increasingly likely we're going to drop to 72 to 74K. The price told us to watch this level, the time interval in between attempts, the price distance, super important level. And losing 90K zone is a massive blow to the trend. And so for me, I said, look, we need to close back up above 90K today, which was Tuesday, the 25th. That did not happen. And we saw really a nasty cascade of price drop since then. We have a little bit of recovery, a nice lower shadow here at the DMA 200, but I'll talk about what this means to me and how I'm viewing it here in a minute. But we had such a nasty price drop. We were into like a pure Maribozu here in the weekly, which is Maribozu's shaven top and bottom, no wick. And it's just a full body. I mean, it's just super nasty. Look at this. Look at this tightening range. Boom. And we knew a big move was coming because of the tightness of these daily Bollinger Bands, right? After a lack of volatility, this pinch or the squeeze often presages or hints at, a big move coming. And we had that volatility. We had the break. And for me, the loss of the level did confirm a 90K, right? And it confirmed on that day with that daily candle close. I know a lot of people tried to play bounces in between from here to there, and they've gotten stopped out here for sure so far. And I've been following the 4-hour, and we have a series of, sure, you can draw divergences, whatever. You're going to get divergences early with these bounded oscillators, especially with the RSI. It doesn't really do much for me because it's a fix. It's bounded. It's gonna stop. And there's such a severe momentum blow on losing 90K that I'm not really looking for divergence. I'm looking for just price interaction with the key level. But we're seeing kind of a series of rollovers and continued EMA 8 drops here. What's the juice on this bounce? Is this a nice little bounce? We shall see how this shakes out. I'm personally hesitant to trade in this chop range, even with this nice hammer candle, even though we're talking about an uptrend, price above a rising daily 200, price above a rising a weekly MA 200. The momentum loss is significant of losing 90K. So significant, it just makes sense to me that it's going to go to 72 to 74K. And I'm going to continue with that posture until if and when we flip 90K. And I'm okay with that. And I'm never going to be trying to nail the exact 100% of the move, right? I'm never going to nail the 100% of the move. If it did bottom here at 80K and I missed a little bit, that's okay because I can rejoin the trend at 90K. I'm going to manage my risk. I'm going to play the probabilities. Like the double top is 60% to not break down. It did break down, which is the 40%, but I'm always going to go with what's the most likely, just like poker, right? I'm going to go with what is the most likely probability based on the math. So that's what we have. We have the breakdown. We have the price acceleration towards range lows, and we're waiting to see if bulls can mount a defense here. Yeah, it's a nice little bounce here locally. I do like the volume, but I'm very skeptical of any type of move until we recapture 90K. You can try to trade the chop here, maybe draw a more local overhead around 86.5 and use that as your trigger. But I'm hesitant to be playing a bounce with it, into the kind of this type of a falling environment with the type of damage that has been done on higher time frame. It's a little bit of a mixed signals because you do have a very nice hammer candle forming. I may change how I feel about this depending on the rest of the day. Of course, I'm going to do another YouTube tomorrow, and you'll hear my thoughts then. But for me, the damage is significant on the high time frame range break, regardless of the local or recent bounce. I think it's likely we're going to go to 72, 74K, and that's going to be my posture until proven otherwise. We're seeing Ethereum testing major high time frame needs to hold level 2100, 2150, right back at it. I mean, are you surprised? Tried to hold 3300, didn't happen. Tried to flip 2700, didn't happen. And can you believe it? Right back to, the level that has been the level for almost 2 years now. The peak of the ascending triangle, held on the throwback, held on the next throwback. And we'll see if it holds here. Tested it again. That is significant. We're probably going to see some type of a, 4.8. Now, this is a weaker 4.8. We're seeing not even at the EMA 8 yet. That's reflected by the weakness of Ethereum versus Bitcoin. I did again, I'll say, I got some stuff right. I did say that, Ethereum is unlikely to have bottomed
versus Bitcoin when a lot of the timeline was talking itself into a bottom here. So Ethereum is rolling over. And even just in this 4H, you can see the relative weakness of Ethereum to Bitcoin, where Bitcoin is above. EMA ETH is not even tagged it yet here on the 4-hour. And of course, Solana. And then we'll take a look at all your wonderful questions in the chat room. I do like the outside bar forming on Solana after the drop, a bullish outside bar. I'd like to see it close here. The chart's broken down on high time frame, loss of MA50. It did have a throwback to the 120 range. But I'm now looking at this as a potential underside test. Should we get as high as 160, 165, would be looking to fade that, given the significance of the breakdown. So for me, this is going to be a channel trade with the range above and the range below, and I'm monitoring it that way. Let's pull up the Bitcoin 4-hour, and we'll leave it here just for a moment while I head in and check out with the chat room. So how is everybody doing? Folks, give me a good question. Give me a question about how you might handle a trading situation, something you're struggling with. And I'm going to try to address it. I'm going to do my best to add some value. That's what this is about. Sure, I have Bitcoin Live, but I try to make almost everything I do for free. Even my books are mostly free. The new book that's coming out, hopefully you'll check that out. But I'm making my third book free. So I want to create value. I want to make it easier. I want to help you out in some way. So ask me a good question. M. Gross, good to see you. Indy. Peter, as always. Eagles fan, Chocolate, a bunch of Todd, a bunch of names that I see you folks here all the time. It's great to have you, and thank you. Really, really appreciate that. So, let's see. Somebody asked me, what do I do with my extra time? I've simplified my trading strategy, and now I have a lot of free time. That's good. You know what I said? Do some push-ups. Go work out, add a creative hobby. Work on your personal health, because if your personal health is better, you're going to trade better. If you're having better relationships in your life, if you're sleeping better, you're eating better, you're going to make better decisions with trading. So you have to think about yourself, the whole health of yourself as a creature, and not just, okay, my strategy is good, but okay, but are you drinking enough water? Are you doing push-ups? Are you working out? You got to take care of yourself, and that's really important. So I'd say take care of yourself. Focus. Now that you have a good trading strategy, make sure you're taking care of your life and yourself. Coincidentally, I may or may not be publishing a book called Life Wisdom in, 4 or 5 years. That'll be my book 6. By the way, the next book is Poker and Trading. That'll be book 5. Let's see. Ray, catching you live for the first time. What's up, brother? I've been going live now 3 days a week for a couple months. I'm happy you're here, and I do post ahead of time, and you should know there's a pretty good schedule now of when I do my streams. Saturday is going to be around 2 o'clock. So tomorrow will be around 2 o'clock, but usually, Tuesday, Friday, I do it late morning. So thank you, brother. What price is Bilal? What's up, Bilal? It's always great to see you. What price is Solana risky to hold? Well, that kind of depends on your thesis, right? If for me to answer that question, I would want to know when you entered Solana, and when you entered it, what was your thesis? What was the reason that you got into the trade, right? It was already risky to hold on the loss of 165, which was kind of the last ditch level to hold before, we had some type of a weekly breakdown. So I would actually say below 165 is, in my view, risky to hold in the short term, because you are seeing the rolling over of the trend. Even the MA50 here on the high time frame on the weekly, rolling over. And again, I'm viewing an underside test, if we get it, of 160, 165 as a bearish or underside retest, aka a pullback in classical charting. Let's see, folks. Give me some good questions. Peter says, read Cheds books. Thank you, brother. You can listen to them too. I actually have my books. They're available on Amazon and Audible, so you can listen to them while you're driving around or while you're doing whatever. I have to record the Trading Journal Audible. That should take me about a month. You'd be surprised how hard it is to create an audiobook. I'm like, I have hard P's and you're drinking water, you're gulping. It's like a million little edits to make it sound good. So Gilbert, great question, Gilbert. How is your book Trading Wisdom, right? Trading Wisdom, my best-selling book, different from Steve Nissen's book? It's a great question. Well, Steve Nissen teaches Japanese candlestick theory. And my trading wisdom is Japanese candlestick theory in addition to classical charting, right? So what I did was I studied CMT. I did CMT level 1. And essentially, I kind of marry what's Eastern and Western technical analysis, right? Western would be classical charting, Eastern is Japanese candlestick theory, and I put them together because they work really well together. For example, like, candlestick theory works really well with Bollinger Bands. Japanese candlestick theory in and of itself is just a short-term method. There are no long-term Japanese candlestick theory signal. That just doesn't happen. They're all short term, but classical charting, you get, medium and long term signals. So trading wisdom combines, Eastern and Western TA, and there's a lot of trading psychology and trading wisdom. Trading quotes is like pretty much all trading psychology. I hope you folks will check out that playlist. I'm going to record the entire book for free. Give me time. I want to have good mojo when I record. It's probably going to take me, 4 months, 5 months to do the whole thing, but you'll get the whole book for free. Let's continue on. Great questions so far. Great room. Hello, Big Cheds. I'm a bit afraid to look at your TA. Yeah, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but it's always honest, and I'm always giving you what I think. There's a reason, there's a method for the madness. There's why I'm saying certain things, and I kind of go through an if then kind of a Boolean loop of a blending of Eastern and Western TA to reach my conclusions. So let's see. Indie Rock, I talked about that question of what is confirmation. For me, it really kind of depends. Most of my trades are intra-candle. I don't really even wait for more than like a 1 hour close. But if you're much more conservative, like with the daily range breakdown of 90K, I waited for a daily candle close. But some people use 4 hour, or maybe 4 hour candles. So Party says, why do you think we all underestimated BTC's weakness above 90K? I don't know that we all did. I think there were people who were saying, it's top, or were saying like we're going to break 90K. And they get it right. And, there was some people who use like moving maybe a high time frame divergence, or even like, MACD cross. Those are not things I use in my method. But for me, trying to think back on what I maybe missed, it might have been the whole meme coin thing. And for me, I didn't really follow them that closely because you can't really use TA on a new chart like Trump coin, fart coin, like new charts have no history. You can't really use TA on them. Like, what's the point, in my view? So since I didn't follow them, I was still following all the major altcoins, and there were some great trades. And you've seen my tweets, you've seen Bitcoin Live. There's some great trades and all that, but it's possible that the meme coin nonsense, and there was a lot of wealth extraction, a lot of scams, and I understand people jumping into these meme coins and getting destroyed. I mean, maybe they didn't have any powder left to hold at 90K. So the only thing that maybe I missed was the kind of meme coin hype. Because if you think back to 2021, there was all the craziness with kind of traditional altcoins. It gave me a little bit of information. The market was getting frothy. So one thing I think about is perhaps I underestimated the impact of meme coins on the market. So that was a good question. Let's see. Gilbert, do you use a market screener to identify which coins or stocks to trade? No. So what I do, how do I find altcoins, for example, to trade? Well, when I do my Bitcoin Live reports twice a week, every Wednesday, Sunday night, I try to show what are the best charts in the market, like 10 or 15 coins, altcoins, like strongest charts. And then members will request, like, I'll look at something. So, for example, like recently a member requested like BNX. It hadn't been on my radar, but I was like, whoa, this thing's really good. Look at the beautiful volume. It's that's accumulation. It's breaking out of a range. Let's keep an eye on it. And now now it's on my radar, and I'll show it to members, and maybe I tweet about it. So I get ideas from Twitter. Folks are tweeting about stuff. Maybe I'll see it. I'll check it out. But it's through a process of I'm looking at stuff all day. And I'm doing deep dives twice a week with Bitcoin Live, so it kind of keeps me in touch with the market and the requests from the members. So I don't need a screener because I'm always kind of watching the best stuff. And then if I hear people talking about stuff, I'll check it out. I don't care about the FA. I don't care about the story behind it. I want to know, like, does the market like it or not? And that's kind of what's important to me. So that's my methodology. And I have a certain series of big board stocks that I kind of things, I watch just to watch, I watch a lot of markets. I trade a lot of markets, but I would say that's my methodology. I don't necessarily use a screener. I do it manually. I want to look at it myself. I want to get in there. I want to get into it. I want to kind of put my hands on it and kind of come up with something. And that's the way I do things. Manav. So since everyone's expecting 70K, first of all, I don't know that they are. I really don't agree with that statement. A lot of people think we're not going there. Maybe they're right, but we'll see. I think some people are definitely expecting it. Others are calling bottom at 80K, 85K, 78K, CME gap. There's a lot of different methodologies. I think we need to be careful with the idea that, because everyone's expecting this, we're going to front run it. Like that. Sometimes that's right. Usually it doesn't mean anything. It's definitely a little bit of a mixed picture, and it's definitely a debatable picture, other than the fact that we had a major range breakdown. And can it find support here in the middle? Yeah, but I still think it's unlikely to avoid what seems like a very likely retest a prior range high. Certainly, MA50, weekly MA50 magnet. I mean, we're kind of getting close to it. I think it's very likely to tag that and probably wick below. It just would make sense to retest this structure based on the significance of this range low break. Go back and watch my YouTube from Tuesday. I went very detailed on it, and that will give you a sense of why I think it's likely to happen. I don't know that everyone thinks it's going there. I just think some people think it's going there. I think it's going there, but I don't know that everyone does. So you want to be careful with the whole front running, what quote unquote everyone expects, because you do have disagreement in the market right now. You have a lot of disagreement. I don't believe that there is a consensus. And you may disagree with me that people are disagreeing, which is fine, but I'm just going to tell you how I see things. Sun Tan Saraf, good to see you, man. Hey, Cheds, what are the levels fading BTC and ETH after the bounce? Yeah, you want to be fading any kind of underside 90K. If we get to 89 to 90K, it's a great short setup because it should reject there. And if it doesn't, you should go long because it's a major level that was lost. When you have a level this well defined and the price loses it, it turns into an underside retest, and you want to pay attention to that. And because it should reject, if it doesn't, that's another piece of information, right? So your one of my quotes is like your what is it? It's like your conviction level, your basically you should be, your method should only be as strong as your ability to react to new information. Like you can be stubborn with an idea, but then as soon as you get new information, you're like, okay, that idea was terrible. You have to adapt and react to new information. I was mega bull above 90K, and it worked until it didn't. And now I'm like, hey, this is really bad. I even woke up and I was depressed. Not depressed. I'm not depressed. I love life. I'm happy. I'm alive. I'm trying to spread love. I'm trying to create things. I got a new book coming out. Life's good. I'm doing martial arts. I'm healthy, yada, yada, yada. But I was emotional waking up and seeing the breakdown on Tuesday. And I actually didn't trade because I noticed my emotional state. I noticed that I was compromised. And because I knew what it meant. I knew what losing 90K meant. Gilbert, do you adjust your EMAs, MAs, to Bollinger Bands based on different characteristics of coins or stocks? No, and you should never do that. You should never change your moving averages based on the chart. Have a system and stick to it. Again, I go over this in the Masterclass webinar playlist. I'm going to record another one this year. I have a lot of plans of things I want to do this year. I want to create a lot of good free content. And it's time for a new Masterclass tutorial. I'm going to talk about my call back in April of 2022, talking about how we were going to go to, sub 20K, how we got there, and then the rise, quote unquote, 12 to 100K rise we had. So you do not want to use, MA50 in one chart and MA60 on another. If you're bending your moving averages to each individual chart, you're actually doing nothing. It's a failed system. You don't change them for stocks. Don't change them for crypto. Have a system and use that system and build up muscle memory, understanding, price interaction with moving averages, with major structure. That's a really bad idea to adjust, moving averages to different, coins or stocks. And by the way, if you don't know what I mean between an MA and an EMA, well, an EMA is an exponential moving average, like the green line. 8 EMA means the first candle has more price weighting than the 8th candle. It's more sensitive to price. Simple moving average means equally weighted, like the MA50 or the MA200. you're going to want to use EMA for short-term and simple moving average. For long-term, you want it to be a bigger deal when the price interacts with a longer-term moving average. I know some people use like 200 EMA. That makes literally no sense to me. Like, what's the point if you're going to use an EMA? What's the point of using a 200? You might as well just use like a 10 or a 20 or a 30 or something that's always going to interact with the price. You want it to be a bigger deal when the price interacts with the trend. In classical charting, the trend is the 200 simple moving average. It's important to understand. Great question so far. Great room. Folks, are you subscribed? Are you subscribed to this channel? 200 people. Glad you're here. Make sure you hit sub, tell your friends. That will encourage me to keep doing these videos and giving you my best shot. Caleb says, hey, Cheds. What's up, Caleb? How you doing, brother? Join us, Hugbear. Is the BTC bull run over? What's the evidence for or against? That's like a bigger discussion. I try not to, like, local top is a local top, like a cycle top, and you don't never really know until after the fact. And yeah, I called like local top here in 2021 in the day, but I didn't know it was the cycle top, right? When we initially topped out here and I called it, I actually was thinking we were going to continue in an ascending triangle, and that failed. And I really warned, especially when we lost the weekly MA50. So is it the like top cycle top, or the local top, or spinning top, right? Or ZZ top? You don't know, and I don't know that it's that helpful to try to predict out that far. I think you still need to trade level to level. You can most certainly, risk back on and a recapture of 90. It's definitely risk off and a loss of 90. I've been clear about that. Even as I've been bullish up here at the 105 range, I've been saying, pretty much at least since January, if we lose 90K, it's risk off. We're going to 74K, and that's still my case. I would have to see how price interacts with this price range. Should bulls fail to respond and we drop into this range, I will be very concerned, because it should hold. If it doesn't, if you fail to hold the top of the range, you're probably testing the bottom of the range. And if you test the bottom of the range, you can break it. So I don't want to start to think about even lower. I don't know if the move, right, is over. I don't think about it in that way. I also think cycles, quote unquote, are changing. I'm not a 4-year cycle guy. I know my colleague and one of my mentors, Bob, he's a cycle trader, and these other folks, but like, I have my own method. And I don't think that way. And even if you look at the fact how Bitcoin's history has changed, I mean, we dropped below the prior all-time high for the first time. Last time we dropped below, that had never happened before. So things are changing longer term. We spent the most time below the weekly MA200 ever back in the 2022 range. So things are changing. I don't necessarily, and now we have all this institutional adoption. I don't know. I don't think about things in terms of we've always done it this way, so we're going to have to do it that way in the forward. And I don't know that you can identify a local top, but I don't know that you can identify like a top, right? Someone said I like ZZ Top better. That's funny. What's up, Rodrigo? We'll try to do a few more here. We're up on 30 minutes. I don't like to go longer than 30 minutes. But I'm really enjoying the vibe here and the chat room. Folks, make sure you're subbed. What's up, Ganja Cat? What's going on? Should you sell Bitcoin in this 84 bounce if you didn't sell at 90K? It's kind of up to you, Todd. I can't always have the right answers. I'll always try to. It could very easily bounce all the way to 90K, and if I told you to sell here, you'd be really mad at me, because then it could recapture. You have to train yourself to wait for price interaction with key levels, right? With key levels, because then you have to kind of find ways to define your risk. You have to find ways to reduce the variables and simplify things. It is guessing and perfectly mastering a low time frame consolidation, a local consolidation after a major range break is very difficult. My initial posture is going to assume we'll have a series of mean reversions and continuation until we test, the next high time frame level. I can't tell you how to play it. I don't want to tell you how to play it. If I knew 100%, I would tell you. I don't. I'm giving you just my sense based on trading Bitcoin for, almost 8 years, and trading, for almost 20 years, generally all markets. So I'm just and from having studied, professional TA, I'm just giving you my best sense of what I think is going on. but I can definitely not. I don't have all the answers. I can't exactly tell you exactly what to do. So let's see. Maybe we'll do a couple more. Yeah, Ganja Cat says it's a sativa day. Yeah, I think sativa, after lunch is great. And then a little indica at night, and you're good. Okay, in your book, Trading Wisdom, do you have a trading journal? No, I don't. That is why I am getting ready. I'm fixing, as they say in the U.S. South, I'm fixing to publish the Trading Journal, Trading Wisdom Part 2. This has tips for emotional management, how to identify trade setups, how they fail, why you should use a trading journal, how to fill out a trading journal. Trading Wisdom, my second book, it's my best-selling book so far, is 3 parts. It's 1/3 technical analysis, 1/3 risk management, and then 1/3 trading psychology, right? My cancer memoir is just my cancer memoir, which is maybe my favorite book because I talk about what I went through as a patient and a caregiver. I'm a cancer survivor. My mom had cancer, and unfortunately, she passed away. I talk about losing a loved one. That's entirely free, the whole book. My third book is all trading psychology, and I'm going to make this entire thing for free. I teach professional technical analysis, Japanese candlestick theory, and classical charting. I try to take the complicated, the academic, and make it a little bit simpler for you. And that's what my books do. And that's what this Masterclass tutorial playlist is. You really need to watch this before you trade. Check out the free versions of my books. If you are feeling like you want more, I'm going to be back tomorrow afternoon for a quick stream. I do a full market report where I don't just casually look at Bitcoin, Ethereum. I do in-depth of the entire market every Wednesday, Sunday night with the best team in the world that studies crypto at Bitcoin Live. Super, super proud of that. But I'm happy you folks are here. I'm really thankful that so many of you decided to come and hang out. I have not answered all your questions, but I've tried. It's just me. There's no moderator, so I'm going to miss messages. But I'm doing my best. I'm giving you my best, and I hope you like it. Let me know. Leave me a comment, feedback, what you'd like to see more of, what you'd like to see less of. And, until then, let's talk soon, and I'll be back tomorrow. Hope everybody has an awesome Friday night, and thank you so much for being here. All right, Big Cheds out. Peace out, everybody. Thank you again.